what's next? We used to be able to put a picture up on it too. Like we can talk behind a picture. Can't do that anymore. Got to be able to pay for that service. So,
Dude, one of the most fun conversations I have ever had using technology, and you were asleep for it, but you saw it happen the next morning. You got up, but me and Banger wasn't there. Me, Bro, Meaty, Pusher, and F-Bomb. For some reason, we were all up super late in the middle of the night. A bunch of us had been out drinking, and we started eating candy in bed. And Meaty was out of town. That's the night I was trying to get Meaty to streak down the hall in the hotel he was staying.
Oh, was that when he was up in like Kansas City or something like that?
Something, and he ended up in a black club by himself.
Yeah,
he lost his wallet or something. Like the whole thing was just a shit show. But then he started talking about he's going to streak down the hall. I'm like, you don't have a hair on your ass if you don't do it.
No, and secondly, it's one of those things about you think about a man and think about a man who has some hair and all that mess, and then imagine him running down the hallway, and that's all fine and dandy. Now think about all that hair on that man that you were envisioning running down the hallway naked. Now make him a carrot top.
Ginger.
Oh my.
It took a whole new vibe.
Things changed, didn't it? So
yeah, a whole new vibe.
The good news is if you are redheaded and the curtains match the drapes, you can color your stuff any color you want and get away with it. Blonde people too, but not brunettes.
That's a shout out we need to throw out there to the crew, man.
Yeah.
Shout out to the No Cover crew, man. This COVID thing has been hard on us as a group.
Yep. Let me give a shout out to a listener. His name's Corey, and he actually lives in Fort Gibson.
Okay.
And he gave me a call the other day and was asking me about something on episode 96. He was giving us high fives.
I love that
on episode 96 about calling it straight when we were talking about the possibility of Michelle Obama
being the running mate of Joe
Biden, which we know now is not going to happen.
Good segue, bud. Good segue there.
Thank you.
If you guys haven't been able to tell, Donnie's not with us tonight, so we're just running off the rails from the get-go.
Donnie's in freaking Pensacola, Florida.
Yeah, announce to everybody what the hell Donnie's doing, because this is kind of impressive.
Donnie is in Pensacola, Florida, teaching, get this, United States Navy sailors who are in the aviation bracket on some new jet engine maintenance stuff. Now that.
He never ceases to amaze me, man.
Imagine Joe Dirt.
Yeah.
Imagine Joe Dirt with an engineering degree.
Yeah, it's Joe Dirt, except Joe Dirt is a savant.
Joe Dirt is a savant.
It's crazy.
Joe Dirt is an aerodynamics expert.
You see this dude climb out of a TA, mullet in the air, wind blowing his mullet around. Never puts a whole lot of effort into what he's wearing, which if we're saying that, that's really saying something. But the dude has just got brains for days, man.
Yeah, for never having gone to college for engineering, because he was in the poli-sci thing.
Mm-hmm.
But for never having gone to college for engineering or anything like that, when he graduated school, he had all the physics courses that was being offered to him and at the community college, because he finished up some community college stuff while he was in high school. And blazed through that like it was nothing, but it wasn't part of what he wanted to do. So, he did the poli-sci stuff, and the rest is history. But he could have been anything. I mean, he's stupid smart. His ACT score was, I think, a 34, something like that. I'm not kidding. 36 is perfect, people. So, yeah, he's not dumb, and he's down there teaching a bunch of Navy dudes how to fix a new type of something on a jet engine. I didn't get it either. He might as well have been across the pond talking.
Yeah, I was going to say, he talks a lot of times, and I just kind of nod a whole, but I have no idea what he's saying.
It's nuts, dude. He goes over my head. You know,
I'll tell you who's not smart. Joe Biden.
Joe Biden is not smart at all.
Because he picked Kamala Harris as a running mate, which we all kind of knew that was going to happen.
Joe Biden, had you picked Michelle Obama, you would have had the election in the bag, but you wouldn't be president for very long. Whoever you pick is going to be president if y'all win.
That's what's so scary about who he picked.
Yeah.
Is Kamala is so far left, so liberal. Kamala has actually publicly said that she supports Antifa.
Yes.
So just wrap your head around that. We have a vice presidential candidate that supports an organization that wants to dismantle our government. Now, if that doesn't scare you, pack your shit and go to somewhere else to live.
And is willing to give government support to Antifa. Okay, well, what do we need an army for? Nothing. We'll just let Antifa handle.
Government support to an organization that wants to destroy the government. Like, you can't make this shit up.
No, and it's funny, too, because there was some race stuff that was going back and forth with those two back when there was like 38 people debating on stage for the Democratic nomination. And she was, Biden got a history. There's video of Biden in Congress just farting out the N-word out of his mouth. Not once, but twice.
Yeah, I was going to say he used it twice in that speech.
Yeah. So, and I think this was a committee.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was up on Capitol Hill. So, yeah, Mr. Biden has, of course, it's all in the past, Everybody can change.
But in the recent past, he's called blacks cockroaches.
Yeah.
He's accused people, if they don't vote for him, for not being black. I don't know if people know this or not, or many people do, and this is a very true statement. This is not fake news. Joe Biden spoke at the funeral of a high-ranking KKK member.
What?
That happened.
Even I don't know about this.
Yeah. Joe Biden spoke at a high-ranking member of the KKK's funeral. Kamala had no problem getting up and telling everybody that he was a racist, and she gave several examples of why she called him that. But now she's riding his dick.
Well, of course, if you got picked for vice president, you'd probably ride a little dick too.
Well, now tell me this. Now, this is how I view things, and you tell me if you're different, Titty. Like, when I look at candidates for anything, I want to know they have a set of principles that they're willing to stand on and stand hard on them. Like, I respect people that have principles that they, as cliche as it sounds, are willing to die for.
You know what? That's why I like Buttigieg. Of all the candidates, I liked him because he had a platform. He stuck to it. And when people would mock him over a certain idea or whatever, he still stuck to it.
Yeah.
He didn't backtread. He stuck to it. And I'm not here to say, man, I wish Pete Buttigieg would have gotten the Democratic nomination, because if he had, he probably would be elected president. And I would still take Trump over Buttigieg. But if Buttigieg did get elected, it's not going to be the end of the world for me.
Right.
I'm not a Democrat. I'm a Republican. So, whereas Democrats, when Trump got elected, they were all moving, did not want to be in this country.
That?
Yeah.
How many of those celebrities packed their bags and left the country when Trump got elected again?
Yeah, not one of y'all budged your fat ass off your couch and got the hell out of this country.
Shit talkers.
Yeah.
Shit talkers.
Well, you know what? The difference between a Democrat and a Republican is Democrats shit talkers and Republicans are shit kickers.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That's it. See, so now Kamala jumps on this ticket. Well, Kamala, I thought you thought he was a racist, and I thought that you're a black woman in the United States Congress, which you're not black. That's another thing. Kamala Harris is not black. I'm tired of hearing that shit. Kamala Harris's parent, she is half Indian and half Jamaican. So she's not half United States black. She needs to stop saying that. I've seen black people on Twitter pointing that out. It makes them angry, and it should make them angry.
Even black people are like, yeah, she ain't black enough.
Yeah,
you're not black enough to call yourself black.
I think there's the people that are posting stuff about it, the black people that are posting stuff about it, are smart enough to figure that she's just using them. You know, like, oh, this will help us, get votes.
You're not
damn.
You're not black. Where you weave?
Come on. Kamala has said numerous times that Trump is a racist. I've never heard her give an example of why she thinks that.
I'm waiting for an example of why anybody says that.
I've asked a number of people when they say it, and nobody ever gives me a real answer.
Nope. No.
But I can call Joe Biden a racist, and I'll give you a whole bunch of answers why I think that.
We can give you the YouTube links and all.
I have had people that support him justify his use of the N-word. Now, if I used it, our email would fill up, dude. I mean, fill up.
Well, I guess he can use it because he's a brother, right? I mean, come on.
That meme that was floating around of him in the Newport jogging suit with the cornrows
on his head.
I want to print that off and make a Christmas ornament out of it.
Dude, I've never seen gray-haired cornrows. That was kind of awesome, actually.
Whoever did it's a genius.
Yeah.
Oh man, but I don't know, man. How do you think? What kind of different direction do you think that this campaign is going to take now that he's made this announcement and she's on the ticket? Do you think it hurt him or do you think it helped him?
I think it hurt him. I think it hurt him for two reasons. Number one, not all Democrats are stupid far left Democrats. Most Democrats are closer to the middle of the road, actually.
And she's hard left.
And
dude.
she is very hard left. Very hard left. Way more so than Biden. Way more so than Biden. Biden's probably closer to the middle of the road.
Well, but Bernie's got in his ear because now Bernie's kind of steering that boat. I mean, Joe is talking about some really radical, like defunding the police, and the only people that I really know that want to defund the police is BLM and all the idiots that are supporting them. That's the only people I know that are making noise about defunding the police.
Yeah, that organization pisses me off.
Black business owners have spoke out and said, no, that we don't want that. In fact, we need some help from the police. Can you please send them down here because you sons of bitches are tearing all my shit up.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. This is borderline genius and borderline just failure from the get-go.
I think it's going to hurt the Democrats overall, man.
I think so too. I really, really do. And for me, I can see right through it. She's way too far left for most Democrats. And most Democrats are that way. They just won't speak up and say, hey, you know what? We've had enough of this bullshit too.
Well, they say that's how the majority of Trump supporters are. Trump supporters supposedly are very quiet, which you can see that by most of the stuff online. They're very quiet, the silent majority. Like they came up with that phrase for a reason. But yeah, I think you're right about that. I think there's a section of the Democrats in that party that are quiet about it, because that party as a whole, they like to term it socialism, but that party as a whole has moved towards communism so far that they have to be alienating some of those people.
I honestly think if it'd be a perfect time for a third party to start up for people who are close to the middle of the road Republican and close to the middle of the road Democrats, who feel completely alienated from both parties.
I think in actuality, that would be the best thing that could happen.
Sure.
I think what's going to happen with this, though, instead of that taking place, and I may be wrong, but I think it's going to further polarize people. I think there's going to be some Democrats like you were talking about that are very middle of the road that may even jump parties now.
Yeah.
Because I think this was a bad move on the Democrats' part. Maybe I'm wrong. I mean, I'm no expert in politics. I just watch what's going on.
No, I think come November they're going to be like, yeah, man, damn it, we missed a vote on this one. But the Democrats are going to try to do whatever they possibly can to take the election, like the mail-in vote crap.
I mean, that's got rigged all over it, dude.
Sure.
I mean,
just like NASCAR or anything else, there's gray areas that you kind of play in between, so that you don't get caught or it's not a penalty. But that's that's a little beyond the gray area. They found that out in California when